We used to call them team shots because it looked like when they engaged, it just came out of nowhere. They just took a shot and went for it. Just, all right, jump in. And that's what we saw repeatedly out of that team. So to see that KDA very low, I mean...
It's surprising. He's not getting himself to the front line, but let's see if he can get to the front line this game, Mefdot, because we're ready with the picks and bans.
That's not what we call it here in America.
I'm not calling it B's and P's and stuff like that. No.
Got him to say it. I
said B's and P's.
Well, B's and P's still work. Batting practice, not quite. This is the SPL here live, and it's game 2 right here. And just to remind you folks at home, Epsilon, we have Iraffer on the board. He is being replaced by Flurry Q this week, as Iraffer has a suspension. This is the second week.
He's a very naughty boy.
This is the second week of his
He's a very naughty boy. That's why. I just had to do the money Python. It had to be.
Our bans are out, folks. Ares again banned out against Wolf of Elo Street. The Athena going to be banned as well. And on the side of the Night's Watch, Giannis and Neef.
Are we going to have them the right way this time, production? Because I don't want to start talking about players playing gods and they're not going to play. And then look like an idiot when we get into game the other way round.
Well, we'll see. Thor, first pick for Epsilon. Adapting definitely did play a good Thor.
He did.
It works well for him.
It's one of Adapting's gods. He's like the EU version of Degas with Thor, is the best way of putting it. So, and we're going to see Sylvanus picked up by Night's Watch here. We did see the Geb last time round picked up for Wolf of Elo Street. If this Sylvanus is going to go over to him. It's once again one of the same sort of gods and the same sort of traditional sense of sustain and initiate with that big AoE ultimate.
Ymir picked up for the Night's Watch as well.
Well, it's going the same sort of way already from what you just stated earlier. Like, it's not broke, don't fix it. But it was broken, F-Top.
No, the result was broken.
Well, broken in general. Got it.
I think how the gameplay worked out well for it. And I'm glad to see the Night's Watch understanding that. Geb being picked up by Epsilon, so we'll see Flurry Q on the defensive Guardian. Geb, one of the few Guardians that doesn't make it out of the support role. I don't think we'll ever see a jungle Geb.
There's been a lot of talk and a lot of things with the solo lanes messing around with him in the solo lane before, so one day we could potentially see a solo lane Geb. A solo lane Geb.
It's going to be Xalia.
It could be. I mean, I've seen Devios messing with it too, and a few others from me. NA were talking about it last time I spoke to them, so be careful of the Geb.
Poseidon will round out the first round picks for Epsilon. So we'll take a look. Thor, Geb, Poseidon. Right away, all I see is set up for intelligent Krakens coming out from Epsilon. And on the top side, Xbalanque will be picked up. So right here, taking a look, all I see is early game aggression from Ymir, late game hyper carry from Xbalanque.
Well, the band away Apollo have Night's Watch here against Emilito. They clearly don't want him to have that one. Not sure exactly why they don't want Emilito to have Apollo. I guess he's been playing around with it a little bit too much just lately. They don't want his global rotations available to him to go with the Thor, I guess. But
it's also just how incredible the god has become with the nerf to Bluestone. Before Bluestone was nerfed, Apollo was a Death Soul character that just did fine no matter what because he cleared with his basic attacks. Here in the post Bluestone nerf world, he's the only god that hasn't really changed. He wasn't buying it. So all these other gods need a little bit of adjustment from the players. They need an adjustment to the mentality of the players. Apollo, you can just do what you did last patch. So that might be a little bit of the intricacies of the thoughts coming out from the players. Ram, going to be the hunter selected by Epsilon for Emilito.
Yep, and that's going to be up to Ninja Dimmy for what he wants to take into the solo lane, which will probably against Bellona here. And it's going to be Loki, so he's just going to look for the farm off here is Ninja Dimmy. He's not going to necessarily go for the big engages just yet, but the issue I see with the Loki right now, it's going to be a split push Loki, because there's 3 gods on Night's Watch that are very tanky targets.
Exactly. Ymir, Sylvanus, and Bellona are all going to be tough for the Loki to take out, even if he goes something ridiculous, high damage burst comp.
Yeah, but
I mean, even Scylla will be a little bit nonsense. Xbalanque and Scylla, a little bit more in Loki's wheelhouse to take a look at. Scylla. I mean, Scylla's been a god that's sort of rotated out just due to the fact that we've had a lot of early clear gods here, Isises, Poseidons, etc. Scylla, definitely the opposite, still picked up for the Night's Watch.
Well, this is what Night's Watch composition is this time. They've got 3 frontline gods to keep the CC chain going and keep people peeling for them. And that allows Scylla and Xbalanque to do all the damage for this composition. Plenty of squishy targets for him to bring down Loki, Rama, Loki, I said Loki, Rama, Loki. Loki, Rama,
because he
Thor.
stealthed and
he did.
Came up behind you again.
He decoyed. I fell for the decoy every time. But yeah, I mean, they've got to squishy a target, so they're going to have a good CC chain for the front line, and it's about peel this game. This game is going to be all about can Carino and Moex deal the damage that's going to be required from them, but can the front line do the peeling correctly?
That will be a large question. No group up this time around. coming out from either team. Epsilon on the left-hand side in blue, and the TheNightsWatch on the right hand in red. You know, in Bart's absence, I think one of the next games I'll have to give the old the Bart intro.
Yeah, introducing on the left-hand side, the right-hand side, the bottom left-hand side. I can't do it that fast. I can do it fast, but
so no grouping coming out from either of these teams. Last time around, we saw the TheNightsWatch group up as 5 and get an easy kill before the minions even began to spawn. This time around, a little bit more traditional. Epsilon playing it safe, hanging out in their own jungle, not really wanting to tip anything off.
Now, the problem I can see, I like the Xbalanque pick, and I expected Xbalanque to fall a little bit just because he is auto-attack based, but his wave clear is kind of weak because he wants to use the bowler to clear out the wave, as well as the poison. That both cost mana, but they've got Sylvanus, so that weighs that out a little bit with the Sylvanus pickup, and an early invade coming out from TheNightsWatch. And immediately they catch into the rotation to Epsilon, so they just go and steal away their camps instead.
Very smart. Just it's almost as if it was pulled on a string. The counterweight coming out from Epsilon. They're going to go ahead and pick it up a little bit slower than their counterparts, so they'll meet right here in the jungle. At least they'll head to lane. So Epsilon picks up the blue buff. TheNightsWatch will push the lane. It's a matter of time if Epsilon can make it there, and they will.
Yeah, respect coming out from Ninja, Dimmy, and Adapts in there. They don't want to fight a Ymir Bellona at level 1 or 2. It's just going to be too much of a fight from Loki. Has nothing at the level 1 other than escapes. And once again, TheNightsWatch abusing the situation. They're going to steal away the blue buff as well. So now we're going to see an advantage in TheNightsWatch's favor on experience because their speed is still standing.
Oh, TheNightsWatch win that by a landslide. Not only do they go ahead and get exactly what you talked about, but they also deny what it looks like the entire wave of gold to Epsilon right there. So great play coming out from the TheNightsWatch. Real micro understanding of how these minions' gold and experience is divided up.
Well, let's see what's going to happen from here now, because we're going to have to see Ninja Bobat go back for his speed at some point in this game. He's got 30 seconds on his hog. Adaptins is down as well. Maybe, I thought Game Hunter was going to go with him then. I think that was the correct call to probably do, but he's just going to go solo, and this is when we might see a fight. Adaptin versus Ymir in the jungle, or Adaptin go for the pick.
It's going to be 2-on-1 right now. Bellona level 3. The hammer is down and the dash.
Bellona.
But it's Bellona.
It's Bellona. She gets the extra protections from the passive when she gets engaged on. So she's going to be able to survive. Ninja Bobat gets that speed buff. He's going to be the one to watch now. He's getting the experience lead based off getting that extra camp in the jungle.
He'll also sit alongside his mid laner, Yaman, or Carino, and go ahead and pick up some of this farm. Adapting will follow, and now he'll sit with his mid laner, Yaman, and they'll pick up these waves of minions. Really no problem. Poseidon, as we said, very strong when it comes to clearing these early minion camps, early minion waves with the Whirlpool.
Yeah, and Scylla's just got to play very safe to Carino. He's looking for the mid lane game. He's waiting for his teammates to set it up. Ninja Bobat's going to base early here, which I like because he got the experience lead. Will he go for the blink is the question. I don't think he's going to have enough gold for it. Yes, he will have enough gold for it. So he'll be back for the blink initiation, and there'll be no beads available, so keep an eye on that one, because that's going to be the big play for the big wombo if I'm a monster.
Exactly, and that's going to be the play for the mid-cams as we're approaching that time. It's 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and at 3 minutes, that's when the first real scheduled fight of these Smite matches.
The scheduled. It's true, it's like it is a scheduled broadcast brought to you at this time. The first fight of the game will probably be at the 3-minute mark.
Routinely, we've seen European teams shy away from that idea, just, all right, you can have these. But this time around, I think it's a little bit different. Adapting caught in between a Ymir and a Bellona, already at half HP.
Kraken.
He's able to get out of there, but the Kraken takes out most of the Ymir's HP. Adapting still very low. Xbalanque ultimate going to go down on him, and Carino gets the kill.
They do get the kill, but it was a messy fight for the TheNightsWatch. The left harpies have gone down. Right one should go to the TheNightsWatch here. I'm not sure who got the lefts there, though, but the first blood does go over to them. Carino did not land the Ymir monster, which was very unfortunate. Adaptin did a good job of juking that one out with the hammer. I think they thought Ninja Bobat had caught him mid-hammer throw with the freeze. That's what he was waiting for there, was Bobat.
That's what happens when you have a great Xbalanque ultimate. That happened right on time. If that a lot of times Xbalanque ultimate's just sort of, well, Shiba's got an assist now, and it might not have impacted the fight. That one, Adapting was gone if he did not have to stop. The Ymir, Ninja Bobat knew that he had to stop in order to not get stunned, so Moex's ultimate ultimately goes and claims the life of Adapting.
We've not tuned into duo lane just yet, but Emelito's already had to go back to base. You can see this because he's got Devour's Gauntlets rank 2 online, gone back and got Health Potion and Ward, and that's going to delay him more than likely getting his Devour's Gauntlets fully online because he's going to time it right. Just keep an eye. Moex will probably get a small lead off that, based off obviously the Darkest of Nights too. So far this lane's worked out well for Sylvanus and Xbalanque.
Xbalanque a little bit by himself. His Guardian is in the mid lane, so he'll have a little couple of minions underneath his own tower, as we talked about. Really not the god of clear.
Well, he's got good clear. He just will spend your whole mana pool. So if you want to clear, you're not going to have any mana. If you don't want to clear, have mana. There's kind of the joys and the pains of Moex and this god and the god in general, but Death's Toll will give him some sustain.
Exactly.
Not much, but some.
Yeah, Death's Soul will help him out with the basic world. Of course, Ram, very, very similar god, going to go ahead and use his basic attack amplification on the astral arrows to go ahead and clear the wave. So, very similar gods, if not just a little bit different.
Now, here's the thing I was talking about. Devour's Gauntlet's now finished for Moex. This might be such a small little detail, but it's something to always talk about. Is that
Sure.
Now Moex is going to come back to lane and start stacking, and Melito's going to fast push this so he can go back, but he's picked up his purple buff already, and now he's going to waste that purple buff instead of farming on going back to base with it, so he's not getting full utility out of it. Meanwhile, Moex is going to get the stacks up a little bit earlier, plus the stacks from the purple buff, so he's going to have about a wave of experience in Devour's Gauntlet stacks ahead now.
And that winds up being integral to these duels.
Yes, exactly. I mean, if the duel goes completely even between the two gods, then generally it'll come down to who's got the better lifesteal sustain and the additional physical power that you get from Devour's Gauntlets too.
Exactly. So once these one-on-ones start to happen, we saw in the first match that these hunters are totally fine.
That ward from Moex there, he had an idea that Adapted the other. Ward, there's a guy there, and I don't think Adapted saw it quite clearly because he still stood here. And Moex is like, I can farm this one, and I'm looking at you, and you can see I'm looking at you, and you know I'm not going in. So Adapted's just wasting time. This is good from Night's though. They're wasting Adapted's time, which means they can try and make plays elsewhere if they would like to. But the issue is there's nowhere to really make a play just now. You can always see Carino's now collapsing here too.
They're trying to make the counterplay. Waiting here is Epsilon.
God, this is such a long wait for this.
And they don't know that they're on camera the entire time. Adapting going to go ahead and back it. We'll see right now if Night's top tip their hand.
They lose Harpies. They lose left Harpies because of that. They're going to have to contest rights if they want to. And those two going over to Night's Watch, I mean, it was an idea from Epsilon. Sometimes you've got to do that as a jungler, though. You've got to sit and wait. You have to sit and wait. You have to be patient. But when you stood on a ward, it's not going to work out all the time.
And again, here, us commentators here in the booth and the caster and the fans at home, we can see that ward.
Yeah, exactly.
We can see that ward. Adapting did not know he was on candid camera the entire time. He was just sort of hanging out.
He'll watch it back and he'll be like, damn it.
Aggression in the solo lane. Adapting needs to engage on this if he wants to save his friend. Ultimate forced out by Ninja Dimmy, and because of that, Adapting will not go in the air. He'll just drop this blue buff for his Loki friend. He'll be able to get the lane.
Well, Boba just saw the blue buff get dropped there as well. I wonder if he'll hang around here and try and pressure this tier 1 tower.
Well, looks like it. He's hanging out in the cubby of the
He should be, because he should be trying to pressure tier 1 tower. They could potentially look for some damage on this tier 1 tower and defend the blue buff from being taken away. And be given over to Ninja Dimmy on this god now.
Looks like they opt away from it. Ninja Dimmy going to get that blue buff for free. Yaman caught out a little bit. Crush took away half of his HP right there. He's going to get rooted one more time by Carino before being able to escape underneath the tower.
Fury there was just pulled down from Night's Watch for half a second. Testing response time is what people are starting to call that now.
Yep.
Some sort of response time to see what the enemy team's going to do. They've got a sentry ward down as well. That's what you think better of it for the time being, though. Keep an eye on Bellback, because if you blink initiates, they could potentially find a kill.
Forced onto the tower. Epsilon here in the middle lane. Approaching 8 minutes. Carino caught out a little bit, but Scylla very, very safe with that escape.
But for the most part, yeah. I do like the fact that we also see teleport finished by Ninja Dimmy here. Full teleport means it's a low cooldown as well. So keep an eye on him. Turning up to these fights late. Game Hunter, we said, has rotated very, very well last game. Very, very early. And Dimmy was a little bit later for those rotations. Now we'll see the probably opposite here is like, Game Hunter will be there first, but Dimmy will probably be there at the right moment he needs to be. Potentially take some towers too.
We see that a lot, and that's the last part, Hinderman, potentially take some towers. That's really what we see out of these solo lane Lokis. Anatoly last week had an amazing performance being an aggressor, but that is the outlier. Normally out of these Lokis, we see them attention to objectives.
And this is all this lane is. You can just see Game Hunter versus Loki here, and Ninja Dimmy's just going to vanish in, drop decoy, vanish out, take some poke. He's just trying to build the stacks up still. Got to keep getting focused down by Game Hunter with the disarm just to be annoying and make sure he doesn't get that last hit for that Heartseeker stack that he wants. Especially because Bluestone's on cooldown now. Bluestone's no longer going to be as viable for a Loki, so you're going to see him have to struggle a little bit more for the mana.
Adapting, trying to make his way towards the mid lane. I don't know if he sees a play right here, but he just wants to grab a little bit of the farm. Because of that waiting, he is a little bit behind.
Trying to make
take a look. Exactly. He was trying to make the play, and he's actually ahead, believe it or not.
Just a little bit. Wall comes out, they'll freeze onto Flurry Q. Kraken comes out, connects with Ninja Boba. He'll go down as well. I'm a Monster connects on the backside, but doesn't do enough. Wolf of Elo Street is going to live for now, but Moex is on the way. Snipe from Melito.
All the way.
Takes out Wolf, and Adapting's going up.
Thor lands right down. He's going to go ahead and miss the Scylla, but it doesn't matter. Here comes Loki. Ninja Dimmy from the solo lane picks up a kill for himself. There's the follow-up teleport, and Game Hunter has picked up one. Roma and Victor right on top of the Ram, and Game Hunter still pushing the gas pedal 2 levels above the Hunter. And Melito running for his life. He's got to roll in a couple of seconds. Game Hunter can't fight underneath the tower. And the Geb shield. The Geb shield is what saved him.
It wasn't. The one thing to note that Game Hunter did not have teleport at all. Then he went straight back to base, spent 900 gold on a max teleport because you could only teleport with the max rank to a ward.
Very, very true.
Small little things that you notice. He spent 900 gold just for that one engagement that deterred the fight from Epsilon and potentially turned it around.
Now, do you think that was just luck of the draw?
No.
Or did Game Hunter keep 900 gold in the reserves?
No, he went to he was basing to probably buy something, saw the engagement going off, saw Loki teleport, went, well, I better get there.
Because here's always the thought process when you speak to high-level solo laners is that teleport is actually a bad item. You wind up just getting forced into it because your opponent, right?
Yeah.
And as the game has grown on, we've seen teleport turn into a good item depending on how often you use it.
That's true.
So it's curious. I'm going to entertain this thought process. Maybe Game Hunter was holding on to this 900 gold just in case he needed to buy a snap.
I mean, realistically, what I think he was doing there, he was going to go teleport anyway. He was going to have to go teleport to deal with Loki. What stage of the game he bought that at is the deciding factor. Did he hold on to it, or did he go back to base at the right time? That's the question, because he literally had just picked that item up and then used it straight away.
That was
I'm pretty sure he must have been in base to have that, because we just saw him in lane a second earlier.
Yeah, he didn't have it. No, he definitely went back to base, purchased it, and came to the fight. I want to believe that he had kept 900 in the bank just in case.
Just in case you had to pick that one up.
Yep.
But now, the best thing about that as well, now their teleports are currently matching in cooldown. It's a few seconds differential between the two now, and that's what Game Hunter needs to know and make sure he uses the teleport at the same time as Loki does, and then he can tell the team the whole time, Loki's teleport is up in X seconds because mine's up. And that's how the mind game starts to work in, so the team can be ready for the Loki transitions. And one of
the bigger things that Loki brings to the table for teams is trickery, and how he's so shifty and you don't really know where he is. Well, if you have the timer on that teleport, it's a little different.
Yeah, it helps you out. You can work out where he's going to be and can he come in for the engagement. I mean, most of the players know this anyway, but having the exact cooldown because you use the same skill at the same time is always good. It's like when you use beads and you know somebody else used beads at the same time as you. You can go, his beads are up in about 10 seconds, guys. We should go now. But how do you know that? Because he beads when I beads. You know, I know that. We're on the same cooldowns.
A little bit of aggression coming out from Ymir. Yaman going to stop that where it starts right there with just a couple of abilities. We'll see grouping in the middle lane by the TheNightsWatch, but they're just getting ready for these Harpies that'll spawn. This is the 4th set of Harpies. Usually the start of the tapering off of importance here. The first 3 Harpies are of the utmost importance. Very, very strong is the relative gold gain here on the 4th one. Still very strong, but this is where you see teams sort of lean back.
This could go on a long time, honestly. If it keeps going like the way it is, I got Blink Freeze comes out into a Kraken that devastates Boba, but he's going to stand because he's such a tanky Ymir. Thor's up, and then they're grouped up as well. Wrath of Terror to disengage. I'm a Monster connects with 2, but not enough damage. Snipes though. Will.
And Melito's going to go ahead and land right now. Yaman in a little bit of trouble. Needs to get behind his teammate. Wall is a little bit too late, as the Hunter is strong enough with the Geb shield. Turning around on a Moex. Stunned out is Carino, but that'll be enough. And, you know, we mentioned how these teams are, this is where they start to lean back. Well, not yet. This is still the 4th camp, and they're willing to fight over it. No deaths, or Wolf of Elo Street, the only death in this engagement, but teams are right back looking at Gold Fury.
They're looking at Gold Fury, and the one thing you can also know about the new Hunter changes once again is if they go back to this Devour's Gauntlets meta, the Hunters can start soloing Gold Furies again.
Yeah.
We saw that go away from them because they get knocked at half health minimum if they're going for the Heartseeker Assy build, but with the Devour's Gauntlets build now, it's back to that situation of like, Hunters can tank it the whole way, everybody else can peel, and then the Guardian can just hug it. So keep an eye on that, because the Hunters will start doing these solo tactics once more.
Oh yeah, that was one of the stronger things Hunters really brought to the party, is the ability to take out this objective sort of by themselves. Epsilon not going to make the Hunter do all the work right here as they go ahead, and they're just clearing the vision, but again, they're testing the response time. They're like bank robbers.
Bank robbers indeed, but can't they rob themselves a kill or two, or potentially that Gold Fury? As the game's slowing down, well, I was going to say slowing down, and he's been quite slow the whole game. I feel like both teams, Epsilon don't want to make the mistakes of last game and give the big lead to TheNightsWatch. And TheNightsWatch this game, well, they're quite happy to let this go late because of the Xbalanque and Scylla picks, and that means their tanks will get stronger too. So if this keeps going, we're going to see, it's going to be Ninja Dimmy and Emelito versus Carino and Moex is what the game is going to be.
Exactly. The adapting Thor, the Ymir and Poseidon, these are characters that obviously don't fall off. Every character gets stronger in the late game, but the strength of the late game gods on the other side of the coin tend to be a little higher. Gold Fury started by Epsilon.
It has been started. Wolf of Velo Street waiting in the wings as well. Double blinking. The Kraken connects with 3 though. The Gold Fury, I'm not even sure who that went to.
Epsilon
did go
gold.
to Epsilon.
Yep.
But Carino does secure 1. Moex going to chase on the wall. Was perfect into the Ymir monster. Kept him in the corner, pinned him in place. And the 2-for-1 trade happens. But the 2 for 0 trade.
2 for gold.
2 for gold. I don't like it. 2 for gold and a purple.
We saw it last time as well.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
No, I do like the play coming out for Epsilon. Rather than wanting to fight, well, maybe I would have, I don't know. Rather than take the fight, they go ahead and they just rush it down. And TheNightsWatch want to rush down this middle lane. Yaman half HP. Here comes Game Hunter and adapting. And adapting's going to get 1 kill. And, well,
Dimmy was the one who came in, assassinates in mid lane on to Carino. The Vanish comes out for the bleed dot as well. That slows too. But so does Crush. And so he does manage to get away for the time being. Forces the teleport out of him as well. So Game Hunter should have teleport advantage now in this lane. No, he doesn't. He used it.
Well,
My bad.
I called the Game Hunter teleport and he didn't use it.
He didn't use it. It was a bit strange, but Left Hop is going to go to Yaman for Epsilon here as well. So the Gold Fury makes the scoreline even again for Epsilon. If you notice, the gold lead was in TheNightsWatch's favor, as was experienced again, but now we're all even once more. And if this keeps happening, Epsilon are the ones that are going to slowly come out on top, because we saw this last game. All the Gold Furies and all the Fire Giants go to one team, they're generally going to win.
Aggression coming out again, this time against Game Hunter. Ninja Dimmy going to go ahead.
He's not got assassinate.
He'll lose his tower.
40 seconds on assassinate. If he had assassinate, he could have all in Game Hunter there. Just not got the ability to do so.
Communication right there, the TheNightsWatch. Carino told, or Scylla rather, told Game Hunter that it would be on cooldown. So, knows that the Loki won't be able to assassinate him right there.
Yep. Worked out well for them. 1-0 and 1 is Game Hunter with the Heartseeker. Sorry, Ninja Dimmy. Sorry, he has got Jotun's finish now as well. So keep an eye on him. He will start bursting people a lot stronger. Generally, what you see on Loki's is the full penetration builds. So we'll probably see the Titan's Bane coming out soon. Potentially, if he needs it, which I think he will, we'll probably see Medjai's come out at some point because he's got to deal with Scylla Root as well as Ymir freezes as well as the Wrath of Terror.
You know, we'll see just how pestered this Loki winds up being. Still early. He's just 1-on-1 right now. Probably looking for a couple of more kills as the game goes on. Just backs being started and finished by Epsilon. And again, hurry up and wait. Both teams looking for an objective, or at least a window to an objective.
It's back to farming now. That's generally what's going to happen. Back to farming again. The way for the next Gold Fury to come up. Both teams just going to try and soak up as much experience in gold as you can. They're even on experience, even on gold. No one's given an inch or a mile at the moment. But I honestly can't decide which team I favour in the late game. I want to side with TheNightsWatch's late game composition, but you have to be careful of the threat of a Loki at any given point.
Beautiful wall right there.
No, it wasn't a beautiful wall. That was adapting walling off his own team after. That was awful.
So
adapting, please.
I think on paper, again, the TheNightsWatch look very strong, just as their roster has looked great on paper altogether. Their Xbalanque looks very strong in the late game. Scylla obviously very strong in the late game. Bellona doesn't exactly peak during the late game. She's meaning her peak right now, but will still be very devastating with Rama and Victor, the ultimate, able to do so much.
She's hard to get off you is what Bellona's going to do. She's going to stick to them if she can.
But Epsilon has proven in the last game and the rest of the season that they can close games with the best of them. So I think right here it's going to be what's on the page as far as the picks versus the actual, well, that's what makes Smite different. It's not a dice roll.
Little cheeky trade between the hunters there. Both of them actually popped sprint. Neither of them wanting to fully, well, it was Emelito wanting to fully commit, but Moex was having none of it, really. He went to play safe. He was against a full minion wave 2. Cataclysm comes out from Flurry Q, though, and Blink. They don't find the kill, but here comes Carino, and with that rollout being charged, Emelito's going to watch himself there. Does a great job of duking out the route, followed by the Crush.
Just a little bit of attention to detail, and there's a bigger one. The Kraken's going to get it and hit a bunch. Emelito gets a snipe onto Wolf of Elo Street. Dimmy very, very low, and so is Yaman, but they'll be able to get out. Well, Yaman does.
Oh no, Dimmy lived, and Moex is the one that went down. Adapts is going to take to the sky as well. Loki's trying to wait for the Vanish, still going to go down. Is Dimmy. He did a great job of vanishing to avoid Moex's damage and then reinitiate. Floriccue's in trouble. They're going to pick him up in trade for a 3-for-2 engagement that honestly I thought was going to go 4-for-1.
Game Hunter. Double kill in that last engagement. Bellona very, very strong. Now, this time I can say with emphasis, Game Hunter wasn't playing when Bellona came out.
That's true. That's true. You're right with that one.
So it's very cool to see. So for those of you that are a little newer to the Smite team, Game Hunter was a prominent player around the time of the launch tournament. This time around, he took some time off, just recently came back to the game. So this is what I like to see. I like to see Game Hunter play some of these newer gods that he hasn't played competitively, bring them to the big stage and say, yes, I can still do it. I can even do it with the new gods. I'm not just reliving my old days. I'm doing new things for new teams.
It's all about learning the matchups once again. That's the biggest thing that solo lanes have to do. Adapting, gonna try and contest this, but there's Game Hunter doing what he does best and zoning. He did this last game for them. He may need some support this time, but maybe not because the Gold Fury's dropping. It's taking a little bit longer. He's keeping Flurrycue in combat. Drop the Gold Fury, kill the Gold Fury, guys. Quickly, you're not making a decision. There we go. They get the gold, and now they can look for Flurry.
Huge point right there.
Right,
keeping
Kraken.
the ultimate in combat. Kraken's gonna come out alongside the wall coming out from Thor, and with that, they'll just funnel death into the TheNightsWatch.
It was nicely played from Flurrycue there because he was baiting for them to all group up on and go at him. Cataclysms into the Kraken, but Yamin's not got the damage that he really wants to at the moment. He's not got the damage. I mean, he's got Medjais and he's got Spear, which is a standard build, but it just didn't feel like he was damaging. If you notice, he's 3 levels down on Carino,
which
is a big difference.
It's the level difference, and also that's all the damage they have from afar. Moex versus Emily 2.
No,
even Hunter's right here, but here comes Game Hunter and the rest of the team. Beads are good from Emily, but Moex gets the basic.
If you're overextended like that, you're going to have a bad time when the reinforcements turn up. Moex, I mean, he was quite happy to fight Moex. Like, all right, well, 1v1, bud, it's no problem. And there's like, oh, there's a tree. And that stupid OP guy. I mean, it's not OP, but
that's where you sit in the casual and you wave your friends off. Give me the 1v1, mate. Give it to me.
That's when you go VF1, VF2, VF3, VVT, VVT, VVT. And then the rest of your team press tab and then click mute. That's what generally happens in my games when that happens.
And then a Reddit post.
And then a Reddit post, if you're lucky. 7-10 though are Epsilon currently down in gold once again, and in experience and kills, as TheNightsWatch stepped it up again because of that Gold Fury.
This is a very different game, though. TheNightsWatch have the lead right now. This is a different game than the first round. The first game in the split, or in the series, TheNightsWatch were doing very, very well, and Epsilon took the rug out from under them.
That's right.
And TheNightsWatch couldn't really get it back. This time around, it's been back and forth, and the TheNightsWatch has really proven that we're down to fight with the big boy Epsilon, where we have no problem here. We'll do the dance back and forth. And here, 22 minutes in, Handyman, 3,000 gold in the lead for the TheNightsWatch. It's not an absorbent lead. Epsilon can still very much fight them head on,
That's right.
but it's the beginning of something big.
I'm really happy with TheNightsWatch's composition for this game this time around as well, because I feel like they've got it for all stages of the game. You know, with this Scylla pickup, level 19 right now. Don't forget that when Scylla hits 20, boom goes the dynamite with that Ymir monster. He's going to start chunking for huge amounts of damage. On top of that, he's got Obsidian Shard finished, and that Rod of Tahu is on the way as well. So keep an eye on Carino. He's going to have to be the backbone with these Ymir monsters. If he can connect perfectly, this is going to be really destruction.
5-1 and 4, it looks like it's destruction already.
Don't count the Jew just yet, because I still favor Ninja Dimmy in that engagement versus a Scylla. He's only got beads. I expect either a combat blinker and Aegis to come out from Carino soon. He needs it, because the moment Ninja Dimmy just all-ins him, he'll be like, I forgot about that god. I need something to deal with it. I don't know what, but guys peel. And like, it's a Loki. How am I supposed to peel? How am I supposed to peel in that situation? Well, TheNightsWatch at the moment going to continue to siege up the mid lane. Moex rotating around. Loki over in the left lane for Ninja Dimmy, just going to split push, and it feels like TheNightsWatch feeling comfortable in themselves to continue putting the pressure on mid. And then actually, Ninja Bobat going to take some back harpies here. They're going to watch this engagement in the left up.
Cheeky play from the Ymir right there, Ninja Bobat, to go ahead and leave one minion up. TheNightsWatch are here, or so are their minions, and they're going to go ahead and get aggressive. Yamin already down low, already dead. Game Hunter gets one. Over the top comes the Scylla, not quite going to connect, so that's on cooldown. Cataclysm going to miss as well, or rather Wrath of Terra. Emelito's in the air. Defensive maneuvers. Moex gets 2, not 1, and with that, he'll be able to get away by the skin of his teeth. But the TheNightsWatch got what they came for, folks, and that's a Tier 2 tower.
They could have got a lot more. There was
team.
A lot of mistakes then from TheNightsWatch as well. We saw Wrath of Terror get used by Wolf of Leolustra. He didn't connect. He also missed the route as well. The biggest play in that whole engagement was Carino routed the minions. He used Sycam on the minions and then spread it to all the targets around him, which is what hit Yaman. Yaman didn't respect the minion wave coming in, got hit by the crush combo because of it, and then they just all ended and forced a fight off that. So it was a really good pickup, but they could have got so much more.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. TheNightsWatch get the tower. That's good enough. Loki almost caught out by Game Hunter. Always seems to be there near Ninja Dimmy is Game Hunter. And right now the TheNightsWatch have position and footing around the Fire Giant. Whether or not they want to take it to a different story, they're up by about 5,000 gold, folks. So they look very strong.
Carino is very dangerous. Without even Ratatouille, you finish out full Warlock Sash stacked with that Obsidian Shard as well. Going to start shredding and damage, and you can already see that is top of the shop already. As the Fire Giant is started.
They're going for it, folks. They've got the numbers, they've got the power, and, well, Epsilon is nowhere here. Adapting's going to go in the air. He'll land right down. It's already too late. Fire Giant is down. Moex very, very low. The hammer will miss, and now Adapting in a dire situation.
Well, he'll get just through the slinky of the wall. Game Hunter actually zones out Yamin from that in the mid lane as well. Yamin actually knocked below half HP once again. Doesn't use the Kraken, though. And Melito choosing the wiser side and looking for the split push, but he may pay with his life. Yeah, he's going to back. I was going to say he may pay with his life because the rotation's already coming.
Already coming, but you can see the wards and the minions actually is what caught the TheNightsWatch making that rotation on the left-hand side. They'll be able to get out of there no problem. And not content with just one objective, Handyman, they're going to go for the second, the Gold Fury.
Is this going to be the first game TheNightsWatch win in the Pro League?
It's possible. 26 minutes in right now, and they have a 6,000. Hold that. 6,000 plus 15. They got a 6,600 lead. I guess it was a little less than 6,000.
We did it.
It was a little less than 6,000.
We made it. Purple Wolf goes down. The rest of TheNightsWatch going to all group up as well. As you can see, Epsilon on the defensive now. They're going to have to deal with the Fire Giant. Ratatouille is finished on Carino now as well. And Crit is now starting to come online as well for our boy Moex. And that's when you know you're going to have... That's Crit on Bellona.
That is Crit on Bellona. Looks like Game Hunter going very, very, very aggressive. He does. So on this Bellona build, we do have the defensive Runeforged Hammer and the Frostbound sort of hybrid defensive offensive item.
That's going to hurt if that crits.
Right into Crit. I expect this to be a Deathbringer.
If he hits a bludgeon and then AoEs the whole team and it crits, that could be painful. That could be painful. I want to see if we go. But wonder if we go Rage or Deathbringer is the question. I guess it's probably going to be Rage more than likely. Deathbringer is good, but I don't know.
I would vote Deathbringer. Go big or go home.
You always say that. Go big or go home. That's why you. That's
you
why
got to spend money. You got to spend money to make money. Left hand side.
That was a forced teleport from Dimmy. Dimmy was forced to teleport away because of the rotation coming in from the whole of TheNightsWatch there. And so that teleport's going to be on cooldown. It's going to stop the split push for a little while from Ninja Dimmy and allow the boys of TheNightsWatch to start sieging a 5v5 fight, which they have the advantage on because of this 3-tank setup they've got.
Oh, yeah. Also, Fire Giant.
Well, Emilio's in a lot of trouble on this side, forcing the beads away, trying to trade out with Game Hunter, but Game Hunter doesn't care. Right now, he's at full health. Bellona, meanwhile, Tier 2 tower on the left falls while that happens.
Yeah, you've got a 4-on-1 still. Game Hunter and the rest of them is still the way the TheNightsWatch want to go.
Carino.
4 members pushing this on the left-hand side.
Carino's got man-sized man balls right there, blinking in with the Sycam. Kraken comes out and connects, but it doesn't do as much as they want it to. And Flurry Q's actually going to go to the wayside. His Thor dunks in.
Lands down, gets a stun onto 2. Following up his Ninja Dimmy. He'll take out the Hunter. Looks like Scylla very, very low. Adapting just a matter of time. Not able to land the double tap, but gets it with the basic. Just a little cheeky right there. Meanwhile, we mentioned earlier, 4-1 seemed to be the way the TheNightsWatch are going, and you still got the 1.
Still got the 1. Game Hunter, Tier 2 tower on that right-hand side does fall. Phoenix stands, though. Phoenix stands for Epsilon, and they're going to try and chase him down, but it is Game Hunter. He's still... No, his ultimate just came up, as I said. He's still got... No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. His ultimate was available, so he would have got away from that engagement. And the Fire Giant will run out shortly on the remaining 2 members of the TheNightsWatch, but they didn't get as much as they would have liked to. That they should have... I feel they went for the engagement instead of the Phoenix more than anything. They should have probably gone for that Phoenix.
Maybe. It might have been more aggressive. I'm sitting here trying to rethink that last fight, and I don't know about that. They got
blinked for Loki.
Immediately lost their Guardian.
That's true.
Yaman took out the support immediately, so there was no tanky front line. Looking at their side, Wolf of Elo Street down. You've got Bobat with Game Hunter on the other side of the map. All you really have is Bobat there. Carino and Moex not able to burn it down fast enough. I don't know about that one, but Game Hunter all by himself.
They had the potential to move Game Hunter over as well. He could have come over with the teleport as well during the fight, during the fray.
I think that's more. I think that's more the whole Game Hunter. Very, very committed to this 4-1, and I said,
that's Game Hunter's style.
I said in the last game. Thank you, production. I said in the last game that stick to it. I liked the 4-1. It worked, and this time around, this is what they're looking for, coming down two sides.
Well, Game Hunter style's always been sort of the lone wolf to an extent. That always just appears when you least expect him to. But then when he does turn up in the whole team fight, it's like, hang on a minute, there's 5 of them?
Exactly.
And he's like, wow, we didn't expect that. That's how he kind of got expected to kill Wolf of Elos, who gets caught badly there, though. The blink in from Carino will help him out a little bit. And with the Force of Wrath of Terror, though, but it looks like Dimmy wants something. He was thinking about
safe. He's going to play safe. He got yelled at by his team. I would venture a guess, but jumping immediately on the opponent, Game Hunter. He's all alone, and it's not going to fare well for him. This time, Emilito over the top gets the snipe. Carino follows it up.
Yeah, Carino kills Emilito, though, as he lands down on it. So they trade the Hunter for the Game Hunter, of all people. So 1 for 1, 30 minutes in.
Emilito has been on point.
His snipes are amazing. His snipes are really good. One of the things that a lot of people say about Emilito is he's a mechanical god by engagement, as we do see Flurry Q go down, Kraken connects, but still not enough damage to kill Ninja. Boba off as Moex leads the team from the front with those bowlers, and the blink again, the pull does not connect from Elo.
Just barely out of it. Right now, Moex swinging like a truck. He's got that crit online with the Rage Blade. Game Hunter, going back to our conversation earlier, he's built Deathbringer.
He did build Deathbringer. You said go big or go home. Well, he went big, he bought Deathbringer, he teleported on the back line and got annihilated in the second.
Well, I guess he went big and went home.
Maybe if he went Rage, he would have got a crit and maybe survived.
I don't know about that one. You got to spend money to make money, my friend.
Well, talking about spending money, he looks like he's going for potential. I'm just going to see where he's going to probably Witchblade is this last item more than likely.
Witchblade has gotten a large buff.
It did.
And it's sort of the Swiss Army knife. It does a little bit of everything. It's offensive, it's defensive. It works out very, very well for what Bellona wants to do.
I don't know if he's going to get it because obviously, the stacking slows don't work like that. So Frostbound Hammer would become a mute point to an extent with what the attack speed gives it there. Adapter's going to take to the sky though as the 5 jets contested. He's waiting.
Lands down in the backhand side, gets the stun onto 1, but that's all he's going to get. Adapting, playing very safe. TheNightsWatch, meanwhile, get the objective off the backside, looking for the fight as Epsilon tries to retreat. They're not able to hit Control Q. You can't quit. The kill is going to go down onto Yaman, but not until he hits out that ultimate, and he's still safe. Moex gets a kill on Ninja Dimmy on the left-hand side.
That's important. Dimmy going down is very important for the TheNightsWatch. Now they're going to continue chasing on Yamin, but meanwhile, Flurry Q trying to deal with both Carino and Ninja Boba up in his grill. Shield's going to buy him time. He tries to use the rollout, but gets body blocks, which is important for them too. Followed by the consistent slows. Meanwhile, Game Hunter is still, Yamin, will you come back and die, please? Come here!
Yamin's still using that passive from the Poseidon to really get away by himself. Game Hunter, no ultimate to his name. Can't really get it. We're going to see Yaman go ahead and deny the kill into a Phoenix.
No,
that's rough. Now he's got to run.
Meanwhile, the rest of the team from TheNightsWatch, as Game Hunter tries to solo Yamin, will begin to take down this Phoenix on this left-hand side, but adapting, trying to confuse it. And Emilito looking for the snipes. He's
got 1. He hits 1 out of 3. Moex gets the kill onto adapting. So Emilito's still alive here. Game Hunter finally takes down the Yaman.
Good job, Game Hunter.
Solid 45-second chase.
That was a big chase, a really good engagement between those two over there. But meanwhile, the main action over here, Crush being forced Emilito away. Moex throwing out the Jaguar. The Game Hunter around the back, though. Back from his conquest to kill the epic survivor. Yamin is back with the team and forcing the Phoenix down.
Ninja Dimmy, Emilito, Flurry Q. Here, playing defense for Epsilon. As the TheNightsWatch take out the left Phoenix, they take out the middle Phoenix.
Wolf.
And Dimmy does take out the lagging Wolf of Elo Street, trailing behind. There's 4 members to Epsilon's 3 for the TheNightsWatch, but it's Moex. And it's Moex. And it's Moex. That's a double kill for the Xbalanque player right here, folks. And the fire minions and the fire players are going to pour in. Ladies and gentlemen, this looks like it's going to be the first win of the split.
The TheNightsWatch make themselves roster changes, come up against Epsilon, which people said may struggle this week just because of the roster change still, because they've got a substitute in, and TheNightsWatch get themselves their first win of the season.
Again, I can't say enough about the Night's Watch. They did it themselves. There wasn't... I'm not going to say this is because Raffer wasn't here. I think if Raffer was here, we would have seen the same outcome in both games.
So that just means Enemy's the only team not to win a game
Yep.
in the SPL this season. But going back to Night's Watch, honestly, they played really well the whole game through. I like their composition. Game 2, Game 1, they looked very strong. I worried about them tapering off towards the end in that. But this was a better sort of lineup for them. 3 strong frontliners, 2 backliners. Carino played very well this game. Very well.
Very, very well. And it had to start somewhere. So let's take a look at the first blood as we go into the early parts of this game. And it is none other than your Carino.
Well, we're going to see him actually go around for this rotation. It took a long time for him to actually kill him because the Element Monster misses, but he does secure it in the end. I'm not sure if his second run in hand actually finishes him off. It was a second. Second did come out just to bring him down towards the end. But that was the beginning of this game, and that was the starting point where we saw them once again get first blood and go play.
Again, well, the Night's Watch actually do get a number of their first bloods in their matches. They just wind up not being able to close them. This time around, a little bit different. They close it. We saw the Night's Watch take 51% of the map last time, and this time around, they're going to take even more, 58%.
But it was 21% on the mid camps again. What does that show? That Night's Watch controlled. They had 79% mid camp control, Game 1 and Game 2. Great work from them this side. The only difference is the Gold Furies are different this time.
As I said, they've been doing the things correctly. The Night's Watch have been doing what they're supposed to do with regards to objectives. And last game, the one that they lost, they didn't do what they needed to do with regards to objectives. But when it comes to the mid-camps, when it comes to the small rotations, when it comes to the small fights, the Night's Watch did what they had to, and that's why they wind up the victors in this game, too.
Yep. All I can really say from that is RIP FP. Thanks a lot, Rafa. I'm sure that's what Twitch chat's saying, too, right now. It's Night's Watch. Yep, great performance from them, though. I'm really pleased for them. This is a good thing for them going into the final week now, because they've got one more game to play next week, and even though they may lose that game, and they're going to have to go to relegations anyways, almost set in stone now, relegations for them, but they're going to have the foresight to be like, okay, we can still compete.
Again, this is what we saw out of the upcoming Stars when they made their roster change. They started going towards the end. They knew they had to deal with relegations, dealt with it anyway. But this time, there's a star on the side of the Night's Watch, and it's going to be Carino. He's our player of the game.
Not a shock to see it. 6-2 and 12. He got level 20 very, very quickly in this game, in all honesty. Ymir Monsters, they weren't the clinch for this, but his general playstyle with the seconds were very, very good. That set up a lot of damage for his team and allowed them to get in position. This is the best Ymir Monster out of the day, I think we saw there, as the wall did body block him into the corner there. So
it just got smoked.
Just got smoked and pushed into that. So Carino, great work.
Awesome stuff coming out from, well, basically everybody here. And we do have the Guardian here for the Night's Watch on the line. Wolf of Elo Street. How you doing, bud?
Hi, guys.
How are you? Congratulations on your first win, what looks to be a very, very sound team. How do you guys feel after that game?
Well, we're definitely feeling a lot more confident than we did in the last 6-7 weeks. And it was difficult to make a roster change. It's never easy, but we're happy now. We're just feeling a lot more confident in general. So
talk to me about those roster changes, Wolf. I mean, you've had Zynder step away from the jungle. You brought Boba in, Game Hunter into the solo over NQ. How are those two guys adapted into the team now? Because I guess shot calling has probably changed a little bit.
Well, we settled in pretty quickly. I mean, Boba and Game Hunter played before together in Spicy Waffles, so they transitioned well into the right side of the map. And Boba and Camino both played together in Coast way back. So, in general, the only thing that had to synergize was myself and Boba, and the rest just clicked pretty quickly.
Yeah, we saw a lot of cool things coming out from you guys in that last game, and it looks like your future is really bright. You guys are headed to relegations, so are you thinking about Week 7 trying to get wins, or are you really just looking at Challenger Cup teams right now?
I mean, we're always looking for the next game. We want to take the most points possible, get ourselves in a better position, and just go from there.
Good way of looking at it. But any shout-outs from yourself before we let you go, Wolf of Elo Street, towards your team?
Shout-outs to my team every week. We're trying to come really, especially NQ and Zynder for sticking around and helping us. And shout-outs to my other half, Angela, for sticking with me and putting up with my rubbish every time I come back on the loss.
Awesome. Well, congratulations again on your first win, and thanks for being with us. So, awesome stuff coming out from Wolf of Elo Street. It was really cool of him. One of the things that I liked is he shouted out NQ and he shouted out NQ and Zynder and for really sticking around and doing what they could for the team, even though they might not be on the roster any longer. So, awesome to see that the guys are still a unit and still a family. So, that's just Europe, though, folks. We've got a North American matchup, and we've got a good one.
Oh,
it's gonna be Eager versus Legion of Carrots. The middle of the pack teams going at it. We'll catch you in just a few.